bloody name first, then you can clap. Otherwise, you can be, oh, bubonic plague. It's so easily led. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on the stage, Andy Metcalf.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you all having a good time?
Yes!
We'll soon change that. I'm only kidding, I hope. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of weeks ago in the press, a professor proudly announced from Florida, America, that he had successfully simulated a single syllable as Neanderthal man would have spoken it 5,000 years ago. How pointless is that? What on earth is the point of recreating a language that's been dead for 5,000 years? Who the hell, in this day and age, are you going to speak Neanderthal to? Unless, of course, you want to have a conversation with a football hooligan. Or a member of the BNP. Or maybe even Rio Ferdinand. What's more bewildering, though, is the fact that this particular professor isn't happy with just one single syllable and hopes in a few months' time he's going to have Neanderthal man speaking an entire coherent sentence. Well, don't hold your breath, folks. That's what they said about George W. Bush originally. Also in the news this week, at the moment, is the fact that scientists have made a breakthrough in terms of their search for the elixir of life. They have discovered that they can stop us from growing old by removing one of our genes. Now, clearly, this is why Cliff Richard and Michael Jackson both look so young. Cliff Richard has obviously had his How to Recognise Your Pop Song gene removed, and Michael Jackson has had his Retaining a Firm Grip on Reality gene removed. Ironically, the search for the elixir of youth is as old as time itself, so it's not really surprising this kind of treatment comes with the kind of price tag that only the rich and famous can afford. But actually, it's not that hard to spot a genetically modified celebrity. For instance, Britney Spears clearly had a self-respect gene removed. Amy Winehouse has had a "thanks but I've had enough to drink now" gene removed. Heather Mills has had a gene removed that contains all her scruples. In fact, genetic modification isn't the only way of achieving eternal youth. Benedictine monks used to believe that looking young was all about your state of mind, or attitude. In other words, the more attitude you had, then the younger you would look, which probably accounts for why they all became hoodies. But if you're not a hoodie, and you don't possess the resources of Spears, Winehouse, Jackson and Cohen, don't worry. There's a much easier way of combating the effects of ageing. Denial. Simple and effective. All you do is lop 20 years off your current age and insert the word new. Thus, 80 becomes the new 60, and 60 the new 40. I guess in time then, 40 will be the new 20, and 20 the new year of our birth, which in turn would mean a new gestation period of 240 months, which I guess is why women are going off the idea of childbirth. But in fact, actually, there would be some huge advantages to a 12-year pregnancy. For a start, every child would be born fully grown, 2/3 of the way through their university education, sexually promiscuous, and in possession of a full driving licence. Of course, there'd be a downside: no more babysitters, schools, paediatric medicine, or British School of Motoring, which is maybe what's catching on. In fact, actually, denial is becoming such a popular lifestyle choice these days for us that soon it won't be long before we're renaming anything in our life cycle that bothers us as simply something new. For instance, how long will it be before the menopause is simply the new puberty? Or retirement, the new gap year? Or death, the total obliteration of all human consciousness, hopes and dreams, the new first marriage? The worst man. Actually, all this has rather more relevance to me than you might at first think, because sadly, a couple of weeks ago, I turned 49. I turned 49, or as I now like to say, the new 29. But either way you cut it, I'm now 1 year away from retirement, still without knowing what career I want to pursue. Well, judging by the way this act is going, it's not going to be in stand-up comedy. Even sadder than this is that, according to the current yardstick of human achievement, which is Friends Reunited, most of my contemporaries are now busy becoming grandparents, while I, on the other hand, am single, footloose, and fancy-free, or to put it another way, on the shelf. Thank you very much. Anyway, but I have actually, believe it or not, I had one long-term relationship in my life. It was with an astrologer, and it was great. We got on really well. We had a really good time. Until I discovered she was having an affair with some unscrupulous, cuckolding, philandering bastard. Or she insisted on calling him an Aquarius. I confronted her about this, and she simply said, look, I'm really sorry, but you know, our rising signs are no longer compatible, because I can't orgasm when your moon is in Pluto, whatever that means. Anyway, the one thing I took away from that relationship is the fact that I am an Aries, which is a ram, and means I'm courageous, enthusiastic, and possess a random access memory of about 500 gigabytes. On the downside, I'm also irritable, opinionated, and prone to crashing when overloaded with information. However, as a ram, I'm a lot better off than my two brothers, John, who's a rom, and he has enough memory to read by, and Simon, who's a SIM card, and he has a phenomenal memory. But he's so small, we have to carry him around in a mobile phone. That's me done. Thank you very much indeed.